Hello, gorgeous love goddesses. Katya Melvin here, your host for a Love Goddess podcast. And a couple of changes that came out this week. First of all, I am not committing to record 5 podcasts episodes per week. That's just too much. That's crazy. That's just not going to happen. But I can commit to recording 1 podcast episode per week with my schedule. So that is the main change that is taking place. So instead of 5 different podcasts each day, I will be bringing you 1 podcast per week. Now, with that being said, please join the Love Goddess Club app where you will see my beautiful face and my presence and my cheerleading voice there way more often. So if that's something that you feel like you'll be missing out, don't worry. We got you covered inside the Love Goddess Club. Today specifically, I remember I promised to share with you my story on how my husband and I did not tell anyone that we got married. And so I kind of want to share that story with you a little more today. If you haven't listened to my previous episode, I made my husband marry me for a green card. I was a foreign exchange student. This was my 2nd year in the United States. I felt as if first of all, I made a decision after my first year. I fell in love with the United States. I saw the array of possibilities and opportunities for myself. And I knew then that this is it. This is my place. This is where I'm going to live. I have no clue how I was going to make it work, where I'm going to, how to even make it legally possible for me to even stay because my visa was only for 3 months. But with the a little bit of, I wouldn't say research, but also there is plenty of other people who did it this way. There's an entire community of foreigners who is wealthy of knowledge on certain things, have pointed out to me that the way I could stay in the United States, and that was back in 2005, was by applying for or changing a visa from my J1, which was student exchange visa, to F1, I believe, and it was so long I can't even remember, which is student visa. And I needed to have a sponsor. I needed to apply for college. I needed to be accepted, all that jazz, which I went through, applied for college, even got in-state tuition covered because there's some loopholes with all of that. If we have a nonprofit sponsor, which we found me a nonprofit sponsor who was able to step in and further towards furthering my education in the community college. So basically, I applied to be a student at a community college. Technically, I wasn't supposed to work, but sorry sharing all these details with you. I worked undercover simply because a lot of employees did not know rules of international students, and there are so many variations. And so I had to pay bills. I had to pay my tuition. I had to pay my rent. I had to pay for my food. So there's no way I could sustain myself without working. So for a while there, I was working illegally while on student visa that I was not supposed to be working. With all of that said, I also wasn't able to leave the country to go see my parents because supposedly, I can't remember the rules, but I either was not allowed or there were problems with coming back. But the truth was I wasn't allowed to leave the country. And so here I was, switched my visa, to stay in the United States after my student exchange program, went to community college, for, I think, associates in the arts. That was not going to compare the quality of American education to the quality of Russian education, especially in the community college. We're not going to touch that issue. Definitely like drop down from it's like going back to high school. Anyway, but during that time, I also kind of needed a more permanent solution and a way for me to travel out of country so I could go visit my family, and of course a legal way to work, because once my employers would find out, I would have no clue how I'm gonna sustain myself and how I'm gonna survive. Also, I shared in previous podcast episodes that about 2 weeks into my second summer in the United States for my work exchange program, I was left, I wouldn't say homeless. There were no good places to live and lack of. And so that's when I met my husband, and I told him about my situation. We kind of moved in together 2 weeks after we met each other, right? So here we are living as a couple in the same bedroom, sleeping in the same bed, only 2 weeks after we met, right? I was able to change my visa and go to American college. So that was all set. That was wonderful. I was working as well. However, I needed more permanent solution. And at that time, my husband and I have been together for a year, and I've started kind of telling him and planting the seeds that, hey, we need to get this legalized because there are logical reasons for it. I need to have a stable income and ability to work legally. I want to go visit my family. I need like a lot of things changed. So that way I am more stable in the country that I was not born in. And he was like, yeah, and nothing happened. So I, after my third time of me bringing this up for him, I was like, listen, I'll be deported or something once they find out that I'm working illegally. I'm like, there's just not good. Like, the situation is not good. I'm gonna have to leave after I finish my education. Like, we won't be together. And he wouldn't commit. So like he would acknowledge the issue, but he would not specifically like propose or say like, hey, yeah, I'm ready, let's go get married. So at that point, after the third time and a year into our relationship and us living together, I basically told him, hey, on Saturday, I got 2 of our witnesses already arranged before he even, I didn't even propose to him, okay? It was not even how, it is sad that I did not get proposed to. It is sad. It is a sad story to our relationship. We didn't have a wedding. That's another very sad story to our relationship. I didn't even propose to him. It was not a proposal. It was, hello, we need to get this shit done. Let's go do this shit. And so I told him, hey, on Saturday, the courthouse is operating on a limited schedule, but I do have 2 witnesses, and you and I don't have to work, so we're going to the courthouse and we're gonna, get a marriage license and get married officially. And he did not object, and there we were in a very smoked room, with the little window, very unromantic, extremely unromantic, very business-like, like the I don't even know if I should call him an efficient, because he was like also the guy who like puts the stamp. I don't know what you call those. But anyway, he was like smoking his 10th cigarette after like speaking with us for like 10 minutes. So, very unromantic situation. We are standing there giving our vows. We have 2 witnesses. We filled out the paperwork, and there it was, our wedding, right? But on the other hand, I had my documents. We kind of started the process, which turned into extremely long process, close to like 5-6 years, if not longer, process of acquiring green card. That was very exhausting, but, took time, took effort, all of that. I was able, as we were applying, I was able to get some kind of either extension or some documentation that allowed me to travel out of country. So I finally visited my parents for the first time, took my husband with me. So my parents knew we got married, because that's how, because that is the, I shared with them, that's how I'm coming to Russia, and there's my husband, right? So they were excited. They even paid and organized in a matter of less than a week, because I think we only went for 2 weeks there. Within a matter of 1 week, they rented like a venue, organized the party for us, invited all of our friends, and we actually had, and I did not have like a white fancy wedding dress, but we did go and get some kind of nice dress for my wedding. And we did have like a Russian style wedding, which was very nice, but we never had like a real wedding. And it was always our intention that, hey, we'll get to do that one day. We'll have a wedding. We'll have like a wedding dress one day. And that just never came to be, because then we started living life, and then we were buying a house, and we decided we would rather put down money on the house that we own than throwing a party. And so for the first 2 years after we got married, his parents did not know, and it was very because we wanted to have the wedding, but it was like we never had enough money to do that, and it was just like other things were more important. And so at some point, and it was weighing very heavily on our shoulders that we had to hide that we are married, that we just kind of printed out some cards and sent out some cards. I forgot what we did. And either it said we're engaged or we are married. I don't know. I think it said we're engaged or something. And I remember his parents were so bummed and so upset that they didn't really know the full story. And they probably didn't find out until years later. But I remember, his mom was especially upset that, we didn't do the proper engagement, whatever, that we were not doing a wedding, that we did some kind of party in Russia. And anyway, they felt left out. Unfortunately, in this situation, there's really, what can you do? There are legalities here. It's not and I still want to have a wedding one day, and I still want to have, white dress, but, other things are more important. That's part of my skepticism to all these women who want to get married, to wear the wedding dress and be the princess for a day, and then 3 years later end up in divorce because they just wanted a fucking wedding. Yes, wedding is fun. You also wasted whole shit tons of money on it, right? My view on this is different now. Like, I believe money is unlimited now, and like I am working on eliminating I can't afford out of my vocabulary, right? It's a work in progress. And like, it's up to you what you're spending your money on, since money is unlimited resource. And I know that now, but back then, and I'm coming from that perspective, what was going through my mind back then, that was not the case. And and like, I'm sharing my majority of my life, I spent my counting pennies and being really frugal in my life. And it's just recently, I have learned the true way of manifesting things. And now I know. Now I know what I was missing. Now I know why it wasn't working. Now I know, right? And with all of that said, that's how we got married, and hoping for a wedding one day. But again, other things are still priority, and we are 17 years into it and happily married, sexy, hot, steamy, like way above, like I wouldn't be teaching you the way of a love goddess if my relationship wasn't the best part of my life, right? So, with all of that said, I am here to invite you to Love Goddess Club. We are having two options there. We are having an online membership portal through an app where we are teaching you feminine science of ways to be feminine, to tap into your spirituality, to tap into your life design, and also be femme by night through dance and through being your femme fatale version of yourself. And second version is VIP version, which is locally oriented version for women who want all-inclusive access to all of the events and classes that we are offering. Go check us out. The website is lovegodesss.com, and I will see you next week. Ciao.